Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to thank you and Senator Murkowski for responding to my request and holding this hearing. Wildfire, the state of our forests and what we can do to protect our communities and our water supplies is a critical issue in Colorado and across the West, as we've heard from all of our colleagues. I'm here not only as a Coloradan, but as someone whose home has been subject to a wildfire evacuation order. In Colorado, the question is not if we will have another mega fire, it's when. Coloradans understand that there's no greater threat to our special way of life, our water supplies and communities than wildfire. And indeed, places like my hometown of El Dorado Springs and other cities and towns across our state are increasingly living under the threat of wildfire. But we're making progress. For example, I'm pleased that in the new Farm Bill that the forestry title includes many provisions that support more on-the-ground work and streamlining agency processes. Some of these, such as the Good Neighbor Authority and stewardship contracting, are provisions that I've worked on for years, and I've been proud to work in a bipartisan manner with my Republican colleagues, such as Senator McCain and Senator Barrasso. This winter, I had the opportunity to sit down with community leaders for a roundtable discussion about wildfire and forest health in Frisco, Colorado. Frisco is a thriving community in the heart of Colorado ski country. I hope you've all been there. If you haven't, you have to go to Frisco. But it's also in the middle of the bark beetle epidemic that's decimated over 4 million acres of forests in my state alone. Dan Gibbs, the Summit County Commissioner, who is here to testify today, was at that meeting. And we heard about a slew of great projects, as Dan knows, and great ideas that the community is leading to become safer and more sustainable. However, I heard over and over that the U.S. Forest Service can't serve as a reliable partner because of its outdated and profoundly broken wildfire budgeting system. And that's why I've been right in the middle of leading bipartisan efforts here in Congress to fundamentally change and modernize how the federal government funds wildfire fighting and prevention programs so that they're treated like other natural disasters, such as hurricanes and tornadoes. As we've heard, this approach has been endorsed by over 120 members of Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, and 200 groups ranging from the timber industry to the environmental community. As the Denver Post editorial page put it this past weekend, quote, "Using disaster fund money for wildfires could solve a lot of problems long term, and we hope Congress sees it that way." Some of the problems that could be solved include freeing up the national forest to reduce hazardous fuels, provide quality recreation experiences, and provide the timber supply to sustain a diverse forest products industry, while also providing safe, modern air tankers to keep our communities and firefighters safe. This is the fiscally responsible thing to do. Study after study shows that for $1 we spend on mitigation and prevention, we save $4 later. And I'm excited to have been able to invite Commissioner Gibbs to share his experiences with us. He's an expert on this issue in every sense of the word. He's a wildland firefighter, former state legislator who led the state's early efforts to battle the bark beetle epidemic, and he now serves the residents of Summit County, a place that's dependent on healthy forests in the outdoor recreation economy. So again, I want to thank you, Commissioner, for traveling to Washington to share your perspective on these crucial issues with this committee.